Hello, video game attendees, video game producers, and video game players. I am here with yet another video game developer interview courtesy of Game Does with Color Expo 2024. I am here with two members from VCV to talk about their latest project, The InBetween. I'd love to welcome founder and CEO Victory Chenito Duru, as well as Omije Emmanuel, who is the chief director on the team. Both of you gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us here.
Emmanuel, I'd like to go to you. Can you give us a quick 10-second synopsis of what The InBetween is about?
The InBetween is a 2D Metroidvania Undertale that talks about choices. It's an idea that came about the choices of life that people have to make in this current age. And for every choice you make, there's also a corresponding consequence. So that's the goal of the game, is for players to go into the game and have a feel of the game and choose things, and at the end see the results of their choices.
Speaking of choices, we happen to have a fantastic choice of a trailer. Let's go ahead and run it. Victory. Inside of that trailer, we get to see the main character, Pippet, who is moving about and traversing around this universe in a typical platform Metroidvania fashion. Talk to us about the idea and where the concept for this game came from.
Back in 2021, I just finished playing two major games, well, three actually, Metroid Fusion, Undertale, and Iconoclast. So I mainly loved Iconoclast for the storytelling, despite it being grounded as a 2D Metroidvania in a more action-packed way. Then I was kind of experimenting something I was like, what if we had a turn-based Metroidvania for once? So one of my friends, Trevor, he actually recommended Undertale, and personally, I'm not really a huge fan of turn-based RPGs, but I tried to give it a try, and it was phenomenal, especially down to how they presented the action in a unique way, something I've never really seen before. Combine that with the story and the multiple endings. So I kind of felt like, what if I could try something like that? What if we had a Metroidvania where your choices kind of mattered? But it wasn't just only about exploring, but it was more about just digging around and finding things out based on the actions that you did. So that was where the whole thing came about. And also, I'm a huge Metroid fan over Castlevania. Sorry, but Metroid Fusion is also my favorite, not Super Metroid. So I played Metroid Fusion, and hands down, that was a very chilling experience. And it was something that I felt like I really needed to replicate at some point as a game developer. So that was how the concept of the game came about. What if we played a game where everything kind of started out dark, but it's up to you? Basically, like how life can throw somebody a heavy hand. And I was like, what if you, the player, now finally have the choice to, okay, suck it up and get better and make things better for you and for everyone, or to kind of just destroy everything like an Jaeger in Attack on Titan, or maybe just somewhere in between, like in the middle. So that was actually how it all began.
Very, very fun. Obviously, there's a lot of Undertale references, just like you stated earlier before, but I actually wanted to ask very, very briefly before we go on to the next question, is that a papyrus camo that we see inside of the baker's area, inside of the demo? Is that papyrus, yes or no?
Yeah, Sans and Papyrus are actually in the game. I can't just call them Snaz and Suipap. Their names are swapped. So the in-game law is that both of them, the brothers, kind of just found their way into the village, and since they look like them, people just kind of just accepted them anyways, and they're just a part of the entire tribe. So nobody really cared, but they were all
He's
kind of
in
there.
a bakery. Instead of eating pancakes, he's eating spaghetti. I see you.
Yeah.
I see you. Okay, so Emmanuel, I'm now going to go over to you. Victory started this project by himself, but I understand that now there's a larger team moving and helping this project along so that you all hit your Q1 2025 release date. Talk to us about what that process was like, expanding the team and helping get the game to the finish line.
So the journey was actually a tedious one because from the beginning, there was a vision and there was an amazing developer, which is Victory, and he was like all in the game. But there was a little thing that was lacking based on teamwork because he took upon the task to do a lot of tasks, which he actually did pretty well. But yet, like based on our timing and the timeline we had for release, it was not actually attainable. We had to like outsource people like Steven Joseph, based in the USA, which is our sound engineer, and also Nate Blackwood, this is also our animator / our artist. They came on board and actually helped us out. Over time, we're able to like get very meaningful, good results.
Awesome. Victory. It sounds like you have an amazing team behind you and an amazing executive creative director here. I want to talk a little bit more about some of the brainchild moments that helped create these amazing opportunities for the team to then expand on. We open up the game with an immediate dream sequence where Pippet is going through what almost seems like a nightmare in complete black and white. And then we're tossed into the main game, which is, I want to call it a cool neutral base with a lot of blues, a lot of purples, a lot of like darker, softer toned colors. Talk to us about the intention of colors inside of both the dream sequence and inside of the actual gameplay inside of the town, please.
Okay, so the thing about the dream sequence was like, I kind of wanted it to come full circle. Like, okay, it all started with this nightmare, but you are slowly inching your way towards the nightmare. I hope I can give it up without spoiling much, but yeah, you're basically going to inch yourself towards that same nightmare again. So give off a sense of like that kind of dream. And yeah, sometimes my dreams tend to be in black and white, as odd as it may seem. So I decided to kind of just mirror it like that. I animated it in full color, then just apply the grayscale filter on it to make it seem like something that has happened or is about to happen. So when you end up going through the exact same sequence all over again with full context, that's where it now goes back to its full color. Then also to kind of also make the thing kind of have that spooky feel, that's also why I went for the gray. Then for the colors in the game, there are actually like three major tribes. There's the Nomani, that's Pipit's tribe, that are black and purple, they're the blue eyes. Then there's the Ochichiri, that's the red guys, that's the more people of darkness that are red and black with the devil horns. Then there's the ones that are kind of like white and blue, like the swordsman in the trailer that tried to cut off his head in the trailer, yeah. So those people have their own unique color scheme. So I kind of figured I could design the environment to match. So Pipit is more of a bluish, purple, and black kind of feel. So I had to go for colors that kind of negated that, like green, subtle shades of green, blue for the grass, that kind of thing. Then in places like the Forsaken Village, it's kind of still in development. But yeah, everything about the purple color that we identified in Nomani for, it all kind of gets swapped for something more of a purple green, like the Joker, just to show how sinister everything is. So I can't just go with the theme. Then for the veil, that's the monsters that you fight, they all have a simple color scheme, which is orange and black with a hint of yellow or red. Mostly red for something like the attacks, for instance.
Emmanuel, what game engine did you all end up implementing this project in? And how were you able to kind of move along a lot of the animations that Victory had originally created and processed into the final project?
All right, so originally, Victory started with GDevelop, which is a game engine that allows you a codeless game engine that you don't actually require code. You instead to like create games, just like do like scripting, visual scripting. So it was actually easy for us to employ this game engine because there was this ease of usage within the game engine pipeline, which made this actually easy for both the sound engineer, the artists, animators, the VFX to actually work together and like put things together within this engine.
Victory, very quickly to kind of backtrack a little bit, not just does this engine provide amazing opportunities and ease of access for things like music and visuals, but there's also a very long history inside of it. I understand this is your company's very first commercial project, but have you personally experienced or created inside any games inside of this engine that made it easier for you to use as well?
I'd actually been on a game engine pilgrimage, so to say, like I've gone from Unity, Game Maker, and the rest. So I kind of set to the G develop for my very first platformer, which was on Global Adventure. It's on my H page. So yeah, overall, many of the engines have kind of had that difficulty when it came to the learning curve. So ever since I got started with G develop, with just that one template, I kind of just decided to go on with it. So the in-between right now is also more or less like it started up as an experiment to see if maybe I could push the engine to its limits because I've never really seen anybody like make a Metroidvania, not to talk of a hand-drawn Metroidvania like hit me for Hollow Knight level on the engine yet. So I kind of thought if Game Maker could kind of do it, if Unity can do it, if Unreal can do it, why can't you develop do it? So given I'm already used to the engine, it's more than 4 years, I kind of try to now go all in it.
So this next question is for the both of you, and I actually want to start with you, Victory, and then I want to go to you, Emmanuel. The question I have is actually regarding the music inside of the game. There are a couple of different themes I want to call homage to because I really personally enjoyed them, and they took me for a surprise, to be honest. The very first theme was actually the main menu theme. It starts with a xylophone sound, and then it moves into adding a very sharp kind of like synth addition, and then there's a bass that just comes in and like takes over, and it's very, very powerful. And the secondary theme actually comes from the Fleetfoot area where you start off with a piano. It's very, very somber, which is a complete different tone from the overworld that you're in after you leave the village. The piano is then added with a very basic, sad sounding bass line, and then the synth and the drums come in, and suddenly it's a very high pressure, high situation environment. So Victory, I want to start with you and where the inspiration from the music from these different levels came from.
Okay, so when I was a kid, I kind of had a piano at home, so I was kind of just learning stuff by mostly just playing around and seeing what sticks. So I was like, if I could bop my head to it or feel something, I'll just keep going along with it. So some of the tracks in there, like that one in the Fleetfoot Shrine, I actually started out by using audio tool, then I switched to Soundtrap. So that particular song in the Shrine, especially, was made using Soundtrap. So in there, I was just kind of just slapping on different templates and beats all together and saying, oh, I like this. Let me add more to it. And again, I was like, okay, let me loop it all a bit and just end it. So figuring that I was still kind of limited on my options, I decided to switch to FL Studio. That's where I kind of decided to start making all my songs out from the title, theme, and everything. So for the main menu themes, well, specifically, I was kind of seeking inspiration from Doctor Who. The very first Doctor Who, by the way, in the 1960s, the intro. So I kind of know that I kind of had that some chilling feel to it with the synthwave and everything, and I love synthwave for music, everything. So there's almost always a synth in every single song I use.
Let's go! Synth recognition! Yes!
Yeah, so for the theme, I kind of decided to try and aim for the vibe between Metroid's kind of OST for the menu, something kind of chilling, then something like for Doctor Who, that's where that da-da-da-dam that sort of kind of came into it all. So the idea of it all is kind of like showing that, okay, fine, the player starts off sad, but maybe there's some kind of hope in that sadness at the end of the day. So that's kind of where that was kind of leaning towards in terms of the emotional context of the main menu theme. And that's also still ends up playing a huge factor into the entire theme of all 3 chapters of the game. So basically it starts off like sad and scary, you're all alone, then maybe you're getting somewhere, maybe you find some people or you find some level of hope. Then it's not kind of sinking back into dread at the end, but at least you already have some context of things and you know what to do and you are going to try and do it. So that's kind of why I felt with the entire song. And that's pretty much how I kind of design my songs, especially. I'm not really too good at music, like music theory or reading the notes, but I usually just play stuff by ear. So I kind of just design stuff based on how I feel or how I want to feel. So if I want to feel kind of sad, that's where the sound desk kind of comes in. If I want to feel mysterious, like some kind of mystery, or vibe, like maybe I'm vibing up to the beat, I can't just do it. Then for one of the shrines in the demo, which is based on time, I can't decide to add the ticking clock kind of feel like, okay, yeah, I can't do something according to the time. I try and sync the levels to the music as well. Then for the village, I was kind of going for a nostalgia kind of style, like, oh yeah, I remember those days when I was still in middle school or in kindergarten, so I was kind of playing a song that I was kind of humming to myself at the time. And that's where the village theme came in. So that's kind of how it is for the music.
Thank you again, Victory and Emmanuel, for taking time today to discuss your newest project, The In-Between. Appreciate it greatly.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us here.
Well, viewer, that's going to do it for this game developer interview. But if you would like to support VCV's latest project, go on over to their Steam page and make sure that you wish list the In-Between. That's going to do it. We'll see you because we have even more developer interviews and special talks this Game Devs of Color Expo 2024.